The loss of Geoff Oliver's Hort 16A gold kiwifruit crop to the disease PSA created a need to diversify into short-term subtropical options. Geoff explains how he's modifying his business to produce passionfruit and tamarillos.
August last year we had quite good young gold kiwifruit plants growing here, which copped the PSA and first noticed it about then, and we actually ended up cutting them out in November. We were stuck with 2.5 hectares here of basically nothing in the ground and not a lot of way forward at that stage, so we decided to look at a couple other crops. One in particular was the passionfruit and the other one was tamarillos. Because we've got a pack house and we do a lot of other crops, we knew a bit about passionfruit and we knew some about tamarillos, so we could see we could manage those. There wasn't really any other option for kiwifruit in the short term, apart from, as it's turned out, Hayward. So we had some bare land and a new site here, so we had to do something. So what we've got left is the remains of gold kiwifruit young plant, which we cut right back down to the ground, and the Bruno rootstock, which is the common rootstock in the Te Puke area, has come away since December, and this year we'll cut that back, in the winter, and we'll graft that to either G3 or G14. Right beside it we've got a passionfruit plant that we planted in December, and it's well and truly away, and we're training it across 4 wires, so it's growing up here and we're growing it sideways. When we cut the gold kiwifruit out, we were left with a whole block of posts, ag beam and some wires, and so it was pretty much looking for a crop that we could accommodate or that could use the area. So we've ended up putting little side arms on and running these extra wires to grow the passionfruit on a Y shape, and it also means we can utilise the overhead wires. This is the same purple passionfruit that's been growing in the area for the last 50 years. We should really be pulling these off, which is pretty hard to do in your first year, and this time next year, we'll have a reasonable crop. As long as we keep a spray program up to them, they're okay. They do get what's called blackfoot, blackleg, and there are a couple of other fungus issues. And nationally, the national crops decreased a lot in the last 4 years due to these couple of fungus problems. So we're trying to follow a proper spray program to minimise that. We put in 500 tamarillo plants, which is 20 rows. Currently there's a real shortage of them and they're paying good money. We planted these late November. This time next year we should be starting to harvest. We've actually had a couple of tamarillo plants growing wild in our kiwifruit block a few years ago, so I know that if we're not careful they'll be another 4 or 5 metres up above us. So we've taken the tops out of them pretty early to try and get them to branch. We've got to be careful because it's our main crop. So we will end up grafting these and growing them up strings, and hopefully the tamarillos will be around it, and we'll grow them for 3 or 4 years. Nationally, a lot of tamarillo growers have been struggling with a psyllid, which introduces a Liberia bacteria. This year, with the wetter conditions, there's less of it around, but at the same time it requires spraying every 2 weeks and a lot of close monitoring to ensure you haven't got it. We'll try and target the export market, because we figure that at the moment there's some more tamarillos have gone in the ground. They seem to be getting a little bit more on control of the psyllid, so the domestic prices will probably come back a bit, and therefore we will need to be pushing some out to export. Same applies for the passionfruit. It helps a bit having a pack house, and we've also been packing some tamarillos for other growers. So at $25 a kilo, it's a pretty good paying crop.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.